Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. It's Monday morning. It's time to get our hustle on, and this is Money Monday, okay? My whole intent having to do with this series is to kind of expand your horizon, enlighten, so to speak. Just giving you some things that are going to be thought-provoking, having to do with finances, okay? The whole channel's about finding financial independence, getting to the point of where you got screw you money. And what I mean by that is that, if you decide you want to sleep in any day, then you go ahead and do that. If you decide you want to take 2 weeks to go to the Maldives, you're going to do that. It doesn't necessarily need to be those things that I mentioned. However, we all kind of have our benchmark, so to speak, on what it is that we want to be able to go do or what we would like to have for an option, okay? And the thing about it is that I have yet to talk with anybody that does not have a negative connotation attached to money when you start talking about abundance or becoming retired early, whatever that is. I mean, let me ask you this. Who set the standard that you've got to retire at the age of 65? I don't know. When did that become a rule? Why can't you retire at 30? Well, I don't have enough money. I get that, okay? But there's a tremendous amount of people out there that from the age 20 to 30 that they created enough passive income that they have 8, 10, 12, 15,000 a month coming in, and they no longer have to work if they choose not to, okay? All their bills get paid, and they have a lifestyle that for them is totally worth living. They're able to make all the decisions that they want to make on their time with the people that they want to make those decisions with. And the thing about it is that I have yet to talk with anybody that doesn't like having freedom of options. And those options are, again, if I want to sleep in, I do. If I don't, then I go somewhere. I have to listen to somebody else. I'm not chasing my dreams, and so I'm getting paid to help somebody make their dreams happen. That's the way that it goes. All right? I don't make them. I do have to play by them. The thing about it is that there's always something negative that's attached in these people's thought process, okay? And I'm going to share with you some of the ones that I have, okay? That I have figured out that prevent me from moving here to here, okay? And the thing about it is that it has to do with, I talked with one lady and I had posted some things on social media, and it turned out that she inherited a whole bunch of money from a grandfather that was, I don't remember the town or what, but it was part of the Aaron Brockovich thing. Her father or her grandfather worked at that water treatment plant, knew the water was bad, knew it was cancer, and got millions of dollars in an inheritance and said it was blood money, okay? I understand why she thinks that, okay? I do. She's got a problem with her grandfather's actions. The money wasn't bad. Maybe her grandfather's actions are. I don't know. All right. But here's the ironic thing is that she didn't get rid of all the money. She did keep some of it. I guess it was the good part that she kept. And you see what I'm saying is there was some point where she said, this money's okay for me to keep, but I'm giving the rest of it away. All right. I had another person that I was talking with, and they told me, they said, I had even asked them, I said, do you know how much you're going to need in retirement? They're about 15 years away from when they can retire and draw their pension from their workplace. And they're like, no. And I said, well, you got to, everything is going to be about 30% higher if we don't have any mass inflation, which we ended up doing. And you know, your income is going to be cut 40 to 60% more than likely once you retire. And they looked at it and said, you know, I've never even contemplated how much am I going to need, because they had a rental house. And that house was paid for free and clear. They owed like $80,000 on their present house. Just had to get that paid off. It was, you know, such a burden making that payment and everything. Just had to get that paid off. And I told them, I said, take the money from the rental property, put it as additional principal on your house, and then in 5 to 7 years, you're going to be done. And you'll still have a rental house that'll give you income when you retire. That made way too much sense. And people have a very hard time grasping a concept like that, okay? What ended up happening is they sold the rental property, paid their house off, went on a big vacation over in Europe for about 2 weeks, took the daughter, had a good time, and I think all the money's gone. And now there's no rental property paying them on a monthly basis either. So there's you, me, and generally speaking, most everybody has been taught. 2 things, actually. 1, you need to save money. That's a great idea. It's a great concept until you get about 6 months worth of living expenses, and then you need to stop. No more saving. Let me say that again. No more saving. Reason for that is that there is no bank account that is paying you to outrun inflation. I've noticed my bank, 1.5 years ago, less than 1%. Now they're offering 5% if you deposit the money for 2 years. Of course they are, because now they're making loans at 12 and 15%. They're making loans on houses at 7%, so they're making 2%, okay? And the thing about it is that this is what ends up happening in a recession, all right? The other thing is, you're going to have to work hard to be successful. You're going to have to work hard to make money. Simple fact is, folks, you don't. This has been one of the hardest concepts for me to really wrap my mind around, okay? I lied to you. It's not hard for me to wrap my mind around. It's hard for me to engage in it, and I'm going to give you an example, okay? I can keep putting money into my account from each month and stack that cash, okay? And I am very, very adverse to spending that money, okay? Regardless of what it is that comes up that I need to do, I am very adverse to it, all right? Here's the thing, though. I got a house, paid $48,000 for it, I think. Put $10,000 into it, turned around and it appraised for like 130 something, okay? So I got a loan, got a mortgage on it, backed out, and got it, I think, at 70% loan to value and everything. After closing fees and this and that and everything, ended up at, I think, walking out of closing with a check for $78,000, okay? Soon as I got that check with that money, okay, and really all I did was I coordinated a roof to be done on the house, and then with a contractor to get some vinyl siding done on one side of the house, okay? Once that was done, and I really didn't use any elbow grease or anything like that happen, okay? So I really didn't have hard labor into it. I was starting to look at all kinds of different ways to spend that money, and some of them were on ways that weren't not going to make me any money. And the thing about it is that it's a very hard concept for people to grasp when they make money without lifting a finger. I can tell everybody, and I would have a hard time believing, but if I went to and did 100 people, say like I went to the mall, asked 100 people, would you like to make money while you're sleeping? Oh, hell yeah, man, I want to make some money while I'm sleeping. But if you give them the opportunity to do that, it's highly unlikely that they're actually gonna do that. And the thing about it is that you and I have been trained and told the majority of our life, save your money, and you're gonna have to work hard to get anything extra. And that's just not the fact, okay? And the thing about it is that it's like when I start to look at doing owner finance on some of my properties, and because I want to be at the point of all I do is walk to the mailbox and I pick up checks, okay? And I start to look at, because there's a couple of people that I've met in my journey along building wealth, and ultimately these people have all ended up in being the bank. And what I mean by that is that they loan money. They make money off of money, really, okay? I make money off of properties. I take a certain amount of money, I buy a rental house, and then I start collecting money each month off of that rental house. But what they've done is they've done things like that, kept rolling it over the years, built it up, stacked it, and got to the point where they became the bank. They started loaning money out, all right? And that is the hardest concept for people to wrap their mind around. I had somebody last week or the week before tell me, I want to increase my cash flow, and by the end of the year, I want to be doing this much. And I gave them an opportunity that would have started putting about $800 a month into their pocket. And they're like, no, we don't want to do that. We want to buy rental property, and then we want to rent it out, okay? And what does that do for them? Does that give them cash flow? Absolutely, okay? It also ties them to having to do the maintenance on it or hire somebody, and it doesn't really give them any freedom, okay? And a lot of people will tell you, I want the freedom, but, as I found out, I want the freedom, but I've created a monster that I really can't get out of or rid of, so to speak, because if I sell all my properties, then there's really one thing that I can do, and that's invest in the stock market into dividend-paying stocks, and my returns are going to be nowhere close to what I'm getting right now. So that's really not a feasible option. My game plan has always been is to owner finance out what I have, and that way I will, still have a good income every month, and it will be more than what I would be getting in the stock market. I'm not opposed to the stock market. If I was in my early 20s, I'd have just invested in mutual funds and, some index funds, and, at this time in my life, I'd be fat and sassy, but I'm just fat. So, that's what I wanted to get with you, to really ask yourself, what is it that I want to do? Because at the end of the day, there's only one thing that matters, and that's the bottom line in your financial statement, the money coming in. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but so many of us are not able to grasp the concept of making money with money. And, as I've started getting into this and I look at the psychology of it, because I've met a tremendous amount of people that make huge amounts of money that really have nothing, okay? And granted, they bought a bunch of toys, big boats, cars, TVs, houses, and stuff like that. But the minute that they stop working or a business slows down for them, they're out of business. They've got nothing coming in, okay? And what'll end up happening is that, they'll end up starting to sell off everything. And when you start selling off everything, because I remember in 2008, I used to play in a poker game, and we had a lot of contractors in there, and I always thought they had money, and really they didn't. They had lines of credit. Well, '08 came, and everybody's line of credit got called in, and they weren't giving them any more money, and so all these people were selling, the Harleys, the boats, the this, the that, at 5 and 10 cents on the dollar because they were scrambling to get some cash together. And, unfortunately, I think that's going to end up happening again because none of them had anything that would continue to pay them. The contractors that I have met, have done something over the years where they kept on investing money in, a mutual fund, or they bought into a business, or they would build 5 houses, build one, keep it, and use it for a rental. Build 5, keep one, and they built themselves a portfolio over time. And, it's a great way to do things. The thing about it is that if you're making money and you stop and your money stops, you got a serious problem. So that's Monday Money for you. Hope you have a fantastic day. Merry Christmas to everybody. And, I've been doing it now for about a month. If you want 15 minutes of my time, okay, I know a lot of y'all are very adverse to, taking on a mentor because you're going to have to pay for it. And, oh my God, am I going to get my money's worth? Anything like that. If you want 15 minutes of my time, it's free, okay? There's an email. I'll include it in the description. You send me an email with your phone number and I'll give you a call, okay? Please have all your questions ready and everything like that. I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to answer every question because some of them are legal issues in the sense of, well, what kind of insurance should I run on a dump trailer, and should I do this and should I do that? And I'm like, you need to consult an attorney if you need to answer those questions. The vast majority of the time, though, those questions are irrelevant when you get started. Get out and do it. Put forth some action and quit being on the fence and worrying about everything being perfect. I got a mentee that, he took me on, we talked, he liked it, and he is in contract, and we're actually going to, he's bought a rental property here in Pensacola because this is where he lives, and I'm going to be there at the inspection at 10 a.m. this morning. And the thing about it is that this is his, he's got a house that he rented, but this is like his first real investment property that he's never lived in. The thing it's going to be is for rental. And getting a good house, I think it's going to make a great property for him and everything like that. So very excited. But again, send me an email with your phone number. I'll give you a call. Have a wonderful day.